Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is the Uncensored Anime Podcast, where we talk all things anime uncensored. I am one of the hosts, David. We have Kenny and Jerry, and this is episode 15. Last week I said 13. It was actually 14. I'm not fucking up this week, okay? Episode 15.
Episode 15, baby.
Welcome to episode 13 of the Uncensored Anime Podcast.
Welcome to episode. Actually, we're on episode 6.
13. Oh, yeah.
We've reverted all the way back in time to the beginning time.
Yeah.
I was told, boys, I had a funny story. Supposedly on one of the last podcasts we did, I guess I was eating snacks like during it, and one of our listeners messaged me, and he was like, "Hey man, you were really like munching on snacks in my ear for that whole 2 hours." I was like, "Ah, shit." I was like, "I just wanted a snack, man." And he was like, no. Like, that was bad. Like, I was like, so tonight I've got a snack with me just for him. I've got a snack with me, so I'm gonna eat these. I'm gonna eat these chocolate covered pretzels and see where it gets us. But
hey, I don't remember you. I remember hearing you smacking in the mic.
That's what I'm saying.
Must have sensitive ears, I guess. Or...
Well, I think it's whenever it's in the cut, because you tune your mic up a little bit, don't you, Jerry?
No, I used to, but I have it now to where it's like set this way ahead of time. But
it could just be our settings though.
Right, and I also think it wasn't that loud, but it was just loud enough that it was like an under rumbling. You know, like if you're just listening to it, you can like sort of hear me.
It's like that faint in the background, like.
Oh my god.
All right, so listeners, today we have a very special episode. The week that we're recording is Thanksgiving week. So, we're going to talk briefly in this episode about, anime that we're thankful for. Like always, we're going to be talking about some news and some updates about other things in the anime world or just in the geek nerd world overall, because we do have some G4 news that have dropped pretty recently that we'll be talking about. So Jerry, start us off, man. What do you want to do first?
Guys, Demon Slayer is the third highest grossing film in Japan of all time.
That's,
the third.
And it just keeps going up. It just keeps rising.
That means there are only 2 other films.
That's insane.
In the entirety of the history of Japan that have made that much money in Japan. And that doesn't make any sense to me. What is happening? What?
And one of them is Spirited Away, right?
I actually don't know. Yeah, I think maybe it is Spirited Away and Titanic. No. Yes?
Something like that.
Yes.
I don't know.
You're exactly right, Kenny. I think it is Spirited Away and Titanic.
Yeah.
Do we know how far away it is from potentially beating those last 2?
Yeah, let's get a number for everyone here because I know they want to know.
Yeah, if they want to know.
But I saw this
next week.
I saw this at the top of Reddit this week, which really blew my mind. That, like, I was looking on Reddit, just scrolling through regular Reddit, and I saw Demon Slayer becomes third highest grossing film in Japan, and I was like, the fuck? Okay, so Demon Slayer is at, oh wow, it's gonna cross Titanic. I'm just gonna say it right now. It is currently at 25.92 billion yen. And Titanic only made 26.20 billion yen. So there is a less than it's like a 0.5 or 0.4 billion yen separation. So certainly it's going to pass that. It will take a little bit of oomph to get it over Spirited Away, which made 30.80 billion yen. But how the hell did this happen? Guys?
Demon Slayer is so good. That's what happened. Ufotable took a subpar, very tropey manga, shonen manga that was good and had good character designs and had some good fun characters, and turned it into this crazy art piece that is the Demon Slayer as we know it. The way that they do the sword styles, the way that they did the fight choreography, because Demon Slayer was coming to an end whenever the anime started, right? They knew that it was going to end. So they could just go at whatever pace they wanted to for however long they wanted to. And they truly elevated. Okay manga, I very much enjoyed Demon Slayer. I read it from the beginning, into something that's that much better. And I cannot wait to see this next arc animated, especially from some of the characters in it.
Right.
Yeah.
I cannot wait, and I can't wait for the arcs after this. The way that they do some of the new sword styles, because at this point we've only seen water and wind, and or we haven't even seen a wind. We've seen water, we've seen lightning, and we saw the butterfly style or whatever.
Yeah, I think Demon Slayer was one of two anime since my resurgence back into anime that I've finished watching the series, and there was more in the manga, and I liked it so much I started reading the manga because I couldn't wait. The other one is JoJo's, for those of you that are curious. And so I've actually read the arc that the movie covers, and it's really fucking good. And just picturing that in UFO Table's rendition of what that would be in an animated version, I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
Have there been any news at all about when that's going to be translated into English, brought over to the Western world, or
can I get some subs at the very least?
I saw
at least some
Reddit.
subs?
I saw on Reddit February, but
talking with his mouth full.
I really am. Hey, stop! No, I saw February, which I couldn't find.
It's like the rumor.
Yeah, I couldn't find any official confirmation, but I heard February is the date we can expect it, and I think that I fully think they're going to go for a limited theater release. I don't think Funimation's going to, as much as like theaters are still pretty much in lockdown here in the U.S. I think that in the same, Nakamo's telling us last week that Unlimited Blade Works is going forward with an American theater release. So
Heavensfield.
If they're sorry,
Heavensfield, yeah.
If Heavensfield is going to move forward with it, why Funimation is going to say why not Demon Slayer? And I think that it's not a great idea because I hate to say Fate, great, right? But Demon Slayer is going to attract a lot more people to the theaters, and that's just way more dangerous. When you have that many more people that want to be in the theater watching this, I would even hesitate myself. I would probably not go see it, even though I'd be tempted to. So I hope that if Funimation goes that route, I hope they do a simultaneous streaming release. I hope that that's their move. So it's sort of like if you want to go to the theater, go for it. But if not, it's going to be in theaters. And I don't know how much of this film has even released internationally. So it's going to be the best. I think it's probably going to become the best grossing anime movie of all time. So just to put...
And the greatest grossing film in Japan of all time, potentially.
I just don't know. Right now, the manga author isn't doing anything. They had to end their series because it wasn't popular enough, and then it just
he's just sitting back raking in all the money.
Yeah, and then it lit fire. I think the author's actually a woman.
I think it is too. I actually don't know much about her.
They are just sitting there like I don't.
Okay, so
how could you go to your editor and they tell you that your manga's not good enough, and now it's this international sensation? Like how? That's wild to me.
A couple years ago, that's what they got told, and that's when things started to shut down, when things started to head down for it. Now here we are. So for anime films, highest grossing anime films of all time, worldwide gross, it does have a pretty big hill to tackle. Okay, so Spirited Away and Your Name are the two highest grossing worldwide films of anime all time. Demon Slayer is the third already with $261 million earned, but Spirited Away, which is second place, has $355 million. So there's still about a $90 million difference between Demon Slayer and Spirited Away. And to kind of put that into perspective, like when they did the limited release of like Broly in the States, it only made about $30 million. So to recoup 90-ish million to tackle Spirited Away, I'm not sure that's going to happen. I think it does have a better shot of just crossing the small amount to get it into the number 2 highest grossing film of all time in Japan. I don't know if it's going to break number 1. I think it might get close, but I think it might come a little short for highest grossing film in Japan. But yeah, I don't know if it has. I don't know if it has the legs to get up over. At least the legs during a pandemic, unfortunately, to get up over that slot. But this is one of those films that I think they could, gosh, I hate to say it, but do you guys think that this could be something that the moment that theaters do reopen, Funimation might try to issue it as like a a re-release into theaters just to try to like squeeze more box office money out of it and get it going higher. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean that'd be fucked up.
I think it's popular enough.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if we don't have a release yet. Like if we still haven't been able to see it over here in the States, like it would really suck if we can't see it. Like because the second season's supposed to be coming soon.
Right. We have to see it before that.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's been so many movies that were supposed to be in theaters this year that they either were just pushed back, which I mean, I think even like February, March at this time frame, I mean, America's still going to be pretty fucked from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of movies have moved their things to streaming services. Like you have to like pay for it on Amazon or pay for it on HBO Max, which I think Wonder Woman 84 is doing. That was just recently announced. So like, I don't know why they don't just, put it on these streaming services and just ask for, I don't know, an extra, like an $8 for a one-time viewing thing, because people are going to pay for that. Like if I could just watch the Demon Slayer, this Demon Slayer movie in my own bed right behind me, just by paying $8, I mean, hell, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people would. Mm-hmm. And I mean, most importantly, it's the safest they can. So that's what they should do.
I hope Funimation heeds that warning, David, and moves forward with something like that, because we all want to see it, and the sooner the better. Yeah. And I personally, if it came out on streaming for $10, but then maybe 2 or 3 months later it came out in a physical copy, I'm the type of person that would wait until there's like a collectible Blu-ray edition or something, and I'd go buy that to watch it. Just because, I want something. If I'm going to pay, $20, I want something on my shelf or something to go with it.
Well, the movie won't be $20.
Yeah, well, no, but some movies were $20. I mean, you know what I mean? Like during the Mulan and like some of those other Trolls and stuff. Yeah, they were asking like $20 for the one-day rentals.
Yeah.
Damn, really? Like on Disney Plus?
Yeah, and that's why there's been a lot of pushback for VOD, because essentially you're paying $20 to watch a movie early, and the argument is that a family of 4 would have paid way more than that to go see it at the theater. So $20 is like a good deal to watch it in your house, right? But your cat just took a huge leap. But on the inverse, right? If I was just a David living alone, $20 is like way more than you would pay to go see that movie by yourself. You maybe pay $8 or $9 or whatever. Maybe a little bit more. I
guess I could watch it 5 times to get my money's worth. I guess.
Right. Or just make sure you get all your friends involved and you guys all split the cost. That's what we did when Scoob came out, the animated Scoob. We wanted to watch it like right when it came out, so me and Mikey split the cost. I don't know if anyone else helped pay for that, but we watched it as a family, so that way we, it was like, okay, cool, we can all pay a couple bucks, and then it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Was that some shade, bro?
I don't remember if you paid or not, Kenny. I just
were you just shading me? What's going on? What?
Live on the Uncensored Anime Podcast, family drama.
The $6. Oh, no. Jerry's trying to collect on $6, bro. He's like, oh.
Actually, Mikey was the one who paid for it, and I only paid him $5. So I don't know if
I know.
So I don't know if anyone else paid him $5.
So you were outing yourself.
It was really Mikey.
Jerry.
I'm just saying that I only paid for like a fourth of it, I think, but I'm worried that Mikey just like bit the other $15.
Jerry paid a fourth and is like,
I was like, that's my contribution.
Calling people out.
But
I think Johnny paid him. So.
Okay, yeah, I think I mean I don't. It was whatever.
I was very intent at that point because I'm still poor.
Right.
I could not pay for Scoob, even though. Let me talk to the camera for a second.
Oh.
That Scoob movie was not a fucking Scooby-Doo movie. Okay, it was like a weird.
I was about to ask, was it a good movie or?
It was a weird amalgamation of Hanna-Barbera cartoons that I didn't want to watch. Okay,
yeah.
I wanted to watch a Scooby-Doo movie.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was Grape Ape in it?
Yes, he was.
No,
yes,
he
was.
No, he wasn't.
Just in a cameo.
Spoilers for the Scoob movie.
Just in a cameo in the end credits, but he was.
Oh, he was. He actually was in the end credits. Fuck.
Wait, is there going to be like a Marvel universe, but for Hanna-Barbera?
That seemed to be the like resounding thing that was happening there, because the main characters that appeared in the movie were Blue Falcon and Dynamite, and then Scooby-Doo and the gang. They were sort of the side, but we honestly spent more time with Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
And Dick Dastardly.
Yeah, Dick Dastardly was the main villain from Wacky Racers, something like that. And then Captain Caveman.
Wacky Racers.
Captain Caveman had like a module, like a minimal role for the back half of the film.
Wait, why is it called Scoob? Why was it not just called Hanna-Barbera Unite? Or
I
something?
don't know.
I'll tell you why. It's because they thought that the marketing department, they could get more money if they just called it a Scooby-Doo movie. But
because all the trailers and everything were just Scooby and Shaggy. And the gang.
Mm-hmm.
The whole climax of the movie is for the whole climax of the movie is for the Blue Falcon.
Yeah,
he's the one that overcomes this. Like, I
do like Blue Falcon and Dynamite. I do.
Yeah,
like
but if they had said like
they're pretty cool.
If the movie had just been called like Blue Falcon and Dynamite featuring Scooby Doo, I don't know. Like, would that have been that confusing to kids? I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. Okay, so Demon Slayer. It's making a lot of money. We've talked about it for a couple podcasts in a row now. We probably shut up about it after this, unless something crazy happens. But keep an eye on it if you're an anime fan. It's really weird that it's doing what it's doing. It's just unexpected because aside from Demon Slayer, most other... Well, okay. Shonen movies don't really perform well, to be honest, right? That's what we know. They perform okay. But traditionally, the movies that are anime that end up getting a lot of money seem to be Hayao Miyazaki movies or Makoto Shinkai movies. I mean, those two films are the ones that do well, and the rest don't really do as well. So the fact that a shonen movie is just dropping people left and right like this is wild. It's crazy. It's absurd. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. If you look at like the top 10, top 15 highest grossing films, you start to see a couple of Dragon Ball and One Piece movies, essentially. But other than that, it's
My
mostly...
Hero.
I think My Hero's... I don't even know where My Hero has ended up in this list.
Oh, maybe not My Hero.
I feel like it's done okay, but I don't know why I'm not seeing it on this list, because I don't know if it actually broke like the top 30 or 40, which is unfortunate.
Oh.
It may have, but I might be just missing it. But One Piece, Dragon Ball, they do okay internationally. Helps them bring up their value overall. But then you've got mostly Makoto Shinkai and Miyazaki films that are international hits, except suddenly Demon Slayer, the movie Mugen Train. Doesn't make any sense. Everyone on the internet keeps saying, like, it's not that good. It's whatever. Demon Slayer is just a good shonen. But we know clearly that, like, the power of...
Is that what they all sound like, Jerry?
Every fucking weeb on the internet sounds just... I just want you guys to know that fucking anime... specifically shonen is absolute shit, and it's just so fucking bad. Yeah, that's exactly what they sound like.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, we don't know what's going on with this shit, and honestly, I read a comment, and let me hear you guys' thoughts. I read a comment on Reddit that said that in like Korea or something, some person was talking about like being a teacher in Korea. And they mentioned that everyone in their class had like a piece of Demon Slayer merchandise, and they're like a young kids teacher, like 8-year-olds. Every single kid in their class has like Demon Slayer merchandise, whether it's like the bat, all. And I didn't realize, at least not in America, most of American Demon Slayer fans are like our age. To be honest, I think
older.
Was it on Adult Swim in America? I don't even know if it came to Adult Swim or not. Does anyone know?
So.
Okay, so
I think was it just streaming?
It did get dubbed. I thought, Kenny.
No, Mikey's never seen it. He never finished because he didn't want to watch it subtitled anymore.
I thought it did get dubbed. Maybe it didn't. No, it's definitely dubbed now. He needs to go back and watch it. I'm pretty sure it's dubbed on Funimation now, but I just don't know if it ever aired on like actual TV or not. But most of the fans of the series, despite it being a huge hit here in the United States, most of the fans are certainly of an older age. It's not a kid's show in America by any means, and it's not appealing to kids in any way. But I guess internationally, it actually is a big like hit amongst kids. And this is, at least in Japan, I've heard that a lot of parents are taking their kids to go see the movie, like it's a kid's movie, which is weird to me because I'm certain that it's weird for us. It's weird for us. But I guess in Japan, that's a little bit more acceptable.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely in that range. So I don't know. Like, do you guys think that, I don't know, are kids driving the market on this? Like, is Demon Slayer doing so well because young kids are discovering their first shonen? Like, is this generation's Dragon Ball or like Naruto? Like, is that what this is right now? Or?
Possibly.
I mean, maybe. I doubt it though.
Yeah.
I think the majority audience is like 12 to 20-year-olds. I don't think anyone younger than that is like driving, like is like the reason why this movie's breaking records.
Yeah. I do see it as like maybe not elementary schoolers, but middle schoolers for sure. This is a middle schooler.
Sure.
Anime,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be like Tangerine, okay? They just want to yeet some daemons, and
They want to fire breathe. They want to water breathe. They want to do all the breathing.
yep, they want to learn how to breathe. That's it. That's
They want to
their
protect
power.
their sisters. They want to protect their sisters. Keep
Yep.
them out of the sunlight. Keep them in the box.
Uh-huh.
Bring them from city to city, completing missions, doing what needs to be done for the greater good,
And yeet them demons,
and
That's
eat
what it
some
is.
daemons. Yeah.
Eat some daemons.
Okay, boys. What other anime news has come up? You guys got anything?
So today yesterday the trailer for The World Ends With You, the animation came out. Squeenix came out with two, both a sequel to The World Ends With You for the Switch, and they're coming out with the animation for the first game. So it's going to be pretty cool. I think the story from the first game is really fun. It's really interesting, and I think that a lot of people will enjoy it. And that'll get you ready to play the second game. Hopefully it all coincides because the first game's hard. Sometimes JRPGs come over and they're tough,
Right.
Especially to play.
David, did you ever play it?
No, I want to though. I want to get it. It's on the Switch.
I never played it
I
either.
want
I
to get on
remember,
Switch.
I remember us having it, Kenny, as a kid, but I don't think I ever played it.
Yep. I remember seeing the DS game.
Someone in
your
the
old
Stinnett
house.
household had that game
Robbie-
for sure. Someone,
Robbie owned it.
it was around as a kid, but I don't remember ever playing it myself. So that's weird. But Kenny I actually didn't watch the trailer yet. Does it look good?
It looks good. It's got some 3D animation stuff that I don't know, but it looks really it looks like they spent a lot of money on it. So it looks like it's going to be really good. I'm interested to see how it plays out. Obviously, the first game story is pretty interesting. I wonder how much they're going to do, if they'll do the whole first game, because it's sort of segmented into 3 different storylines. So it's possible, though. Obviously, a lot of the action, you can sort of drum up the action aspects because it is a JRPG, and it did require a fair amount of grinding and, doing a lot of extraneous work that didn't include the main storyline. So I think it'll be really fun. I'm interested to see it, especially prior to playing the new game. So
Have they ever successfully adapted a game into an anime?
Danganronpa.
Would you say that was a good adaptation, Kenny?
I mean, pretty much faithful adaptation of the game.
Right.
I think it was a really good.
I
adaptation.
enjoyed watching the first season of Danganronpa. That was the only anime I could think of off the top of my head that I enjoyed it because I thought of 2 others and I didn't really like them that much. And that was the Phoenix Wright anime, which was really poorly produced, and the Blaze Blue anime, which was also really poorly produced. Like, not a lot of money went into them. So you could tell that, like, the animation, the artwork, it was all very, like, low budget.
The Persona games have Persona 4 and Persona 5, the animation, and Persona 3 has some anime movies
I've never seen
that are all pretty good, but they're more.
Persona 5 was bad.
Yeah, they're
So
like,
I played Persona 5 and I watched the anime, and the animation is just awful.
Yeah, so what? I mean, why does it have? It seems like I can't think of a video game anime. Even Danganronpa, like, seemed to suffer the lack of budget, as if nobody's here for a video game anime. Like, why aren't we putting money into some? Because I mean, fuck, if they were to make, I don't know, Legend of Zelda anime or something, I think they could do it up dope if they did it right. Yeah. But you know what I mean? There's so many there's so many games that have so much potential to be quality anime, and it seems
for sure, yeah.
There's one game that turned into a really great anime movie. That's Professor Layton. If you've ever seen the Professor Layton movie, it's fucking awesome.
I remember that actually.
But it's not even based off of a game in particular.
It was its own story, right? Yeah, okay, I remember that.
I just love me some Professor Layton. All right, I love to see Herschel Layton hamming it up, fighting some enemies, solving some puzzles.
It's weird.
So
yeah, I'm trying to think of, because I know we've talked about this before on our video game episode. But yeah, for for me, I've only played I've played a few Tales of games, and I've played Persona 5, and the anime adaptations I've seen, I wasn't a fan of. Especially the Persona 5 animation. It's just like the animation itself, the voice acting, I think they got the same voice actors, which is really cool.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know who animated it.
And the Tales of games have anime adaptations almost of every
They do.
every entry, but those are always so hit or miss.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the Persona animations are like companions to the game too. That's the Final Fantasy 15 had that 4-episode companion like prequel series, and there's a ton of stuff like that. But yeah, there's no like this is a direct adaptation of this game storyline in anime form. Not often, at least. I mean, Danganronpa did it, but then the second anime series wasn't. You know, it was its own storyline.
Cloverworks.
Oh well, no, they did the
Fairy Tail.
No, Burn the Witch.
No way. I thought it was a new studio that did it.
No, they didn't.
Oh, I'm mixing it up.
I think they did it with another studio.
No,
right? Was it like 2 studios?
Studio Colorido. That's what I was thinking of. They're the ones who did.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what Cloverworks did. I had to remember.
I mean, they are going to do Horimiya.
Oh, Horimiya. That's where we talked about them.
And they're doing Promised Neverland season 2 as well.
Oh, they did season 1 of Promised Neverland, right?
Oh, they did. Okay.
Okay, so I'm saying they had a track record of at least something there. So I don't know. I wonder how they dropped.
Persona 5 animation was their third TV animation. So I mean, maybe they just got better over time.
Actually,
there was a few animes before they did Promised Neverland season 1.
We didn't even think of this one, guys. A really great game made into an anime, Dragon's Dogma.
I gotta go. Maybe one of the worst things I've ever watched.
I think Castlevania is a good adaptation of a game into an anime, and because Castlevania
is Castlevania an anime?
Yeah, Netflix did an anime.
But David, is it an anime? It's got a lot of American production team behind it. Is all.
Yeah.
It's an anime styled and obviously inspired by Japanese property. So it's
what defines an anime?
Oh shit, that'll be a whole nother episode. We can't talk about that today. We gotta have a whole episode about Avatar: The Last Anime.
Is Avatar an anime?
Is Avatar an anime? We will never know. Because it's weird because I just Alyssa and I just started watching. Well, she watched the whole thing. I didn't like it very much, so I didn't watch it. The Gods and Monsters or something on Netflix that just came out. Did you guys see that?
Gods and Monsters?
Shit.
No, I haven't.
It's not called God. It's like called Zeus. Blood of Zeus. Blood of Zeus.
Oh, that's the new.
Blood of Zeus. It's an anime inspired series, but it's an American series or Canada maybe helped with it. But it looks just like an anime essentially. And it was not. I didn't like it. I watched like 2 or 3 episodes and I got really really bored and zoned out and realized it was not for me. But Alyssa watched the whole thing. And it's pretty played out, and the story's really bland. I literally, after I watched the first 3 episodes, Alyssa watched the whole thing, I came into the kitchen the next day, and I was like, Liz, is this how the show ended? And she goes, I mean, yeah, it is. And I was like, aha. So it was that easy to guess it was that plot.
Predictable?
Yeah, it was really not much, there was just not much going on there. But if you like to look at really good animation, it was animated really well. Okay. So World Ends With You, we're excited, but I'm still hesitant is all. That's the word I'm going to use. I'm hesitant. I want it to be good because I always wanted to see the story of that game. And so I hope that it's good and I actually want to sit through it and watch it. But we'll see. Other anime news? Has anything other exciting happened, really? We're kind of at that... Oh, David?
I do have something. I don't know if this is even worth mentioning, but this is something we talked about in the very first episode of the podcast. So I'm doing this kind of for nostalgia.
Wait, I think I know what you're talking about.
Wait, yeah, me too.
So the Act Age manga writer.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that thing that was like okay. So one of the many things we talked about in our first episode, for those of you who are listening who didn't have the chance to listen to our first episode, we talked about.
I thought you were talking about the Vampire Knight.
Yeah, Vampire Night. That was what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's weird.
I was thinking maybe Vampire.
I thought maybe
there's also Vampire Night news.
No.
Yeah, there's Vampire Night news.
Okay.
We always have news for Vampire Night.
That's true. There's always
on
news
this
for Vampire.
podcast. Yeah.
Okay,
so what?
We got
David, what info dropped about the author of Act Age?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the author of Act Age, Tatsuya Matsuki, and for those of you who don't know Act Age, I think it's a manga about people acting.
Yep.
Okay, it's about people acting. It's like set in high school, I guess. Anyway, so this person a while back was criminally charged for sexually assaulting an underage girl. And looking at this article, so recently, I think just yesterday, this person formally confessed their alleged crimes in their first day of court. So it's shit really happened, and looks like they're going to be going to jail for some time because they confessed. So it's good that they're going to jail because fuck that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And I'm like just looking at the article for the first time. Japan's national broadcaster, blah blah blah, writer of the Act Age manga series, blah blah blah, had his trial in Tokyo District Court today. Mizuki was previously arrested in August for allegedly performing obscene acts on 2 junior high school age girls. Mm-hmm. Yep. So pretty wild, and they're scheduled to have their verdict handed down on December 23rd. So GG's to that person. But that crime is a very serious crime. I'm not trying to make light of it. But
yeah, don't fucking touch underage girls.
Here's the tough part about that, right? And for those of you that don't know that are listening, and we talked about it a little bit a long time ago at this point, but Japan is pretty poorly known for not charging pedophilia, sexual offenses like that very harshly. Generally, the verdicts that get handed down are very short sentences, and then oftentimes the people get to walk free. It's not as it's nowhere comparable to what we do here in America for someone who was charged for the same crime. And I hate to say
in this article, the prosecutors are aiming for a 1 year and 6 month prison sentence.
Yeah,
so 1.5 years,
year and a half for sexually assaulting 2 young girls. That's fucked up, Japan. That's fucked up. And the worst part about that is there are 2 other prominent manga authors who have been charged and dealt with things like this and have continued to just write manga once they were done. So Nobuhiro Watsuki, the acclaimed author of Samurai, it used to be called Samurai X, Rurouni Kenshin, has been charged with similar offenses, as well as Shimabukuro is his name, the author of Toriko. Mm-hmm. He wrote the entirety of Toriko ran after he got out of jail. So he just started a new manga.
No, he did not. In Shonen Jump.
Yeah, no, he did not.
World Builder. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So here he's back again. So that's what I'm saying.
2 chapters are out.
And Watsuki has gone pretty much unfazed. Rurouni Kenshin continues to be promoted as one of its biggest series of Shonen Jump. You know, the character was available on Jump Force. Unfazed pretty much. So
as if nothing happened.
Japan has a pretty low leniency on this, and I don't want to believe this, but it would not surprise me if 2 years from now we're having a conversation about how it's weird, but this guy's back writing manga again or something like that, or Act Age returns with its second, yeah, I mean, that's the kind of like weirdness that goes around with this stuff. But yeah, that specifically, if you didn't know, Act Age got canceled right after the announcement of the charges. So the author or the artist did not get to continue on the series despite being unrelated to the crimes, but the series just got immediately dropped. And I hope that the artist finds some success and is able to go on to do something else. They're a really good artist. And again, no relation to the manga author, the one who was writing the story. The artist was just an artist. So I hope that they're able to find some success in Jump in the future as well. That's a good update, David. I had not even heard of that. So that's really good. I
got one last.
Oh, you do?
One last bit of news, because this is an anime that I think we've talked about and that I've heard about and I really want to watch, and it just got a season 2 announced. Cells at Work.
Oh.
Very popular show.
Their opening ending were just revealed. I think the other day. I think the voice actor for Jotaro is in this anime.
He's the white blood cell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's this. I'm pretty sure.
That's how I stumbled upon it.
I'm pretty sure it's this. I think Matt Mercer is also the.
Oh, they got Jotaro's English voice to play it also?
I think so.
Wait, Matt Mercer voices Jotaro?
Yeah,
in English?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I was watching...
voices everybody.
Where did I hear Matt Mercer come up recently? He was like in something that I was watching. Oh, okay. My wife and I just finished all of... Huh?
I'm wrong.
Okay. My wife and I just finished all of Regular Show. And in the last season of Regular Show, if you guys have never seen it, or viewers at home have never seen it, they go to space for some reason. And they meet this like space guy. His name was like, I can't even remember what his damn name was. He was so irrelevant. But he was like in every episode of the last season. And Matt Mercer just like randomly voiced him. And he was like essentially like a space bounty hunter type of character. And I was like, what the heck?
He's like the same character in all of his voices.
Exactly. I was like, Chance Sure Shot. That was his name. Chance Sure Shot.
God damn it.
Wait, he's in Blood of Zeus too.
Oh, yes, I did just hear him in Blood of Zeus. The fast guy, right?
Hermes?
Mercury?
Hermes. No, Hermes.
Sorry, I was doing Roman.
I think that's the wrong mythology, Kenny. Okay, let's talk about G4 for a minute, guys, because absolutely. This is an anime podcast, and G4 is a gaming network. If you guys don't know, G4 was a TV show network that was on air from like the early 2000s, maybe like late 90s, until like the mid 2000s, and then it got canceled, all their production shut down, blah, 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 blah. Okay, recently, in the last year or so, it was kind of announced that a revival was in the works. They were trying to work towards something. They officially announced it at San Diego Comic-Con earlier this year. So right around actually when we started this podcast, they've been hunting for talent, getting Twitch streamers involved, bringing back their old reporters. And then just this week, they did sort of a live stream event where they, it was like the reunion special is the way I think that's how they described it, right, Kenny? Essentially like this G4 TV reunion special, and for all of us it's a little bit nostalgic, for those of us on the podcast, and maybe for you guys listening, hearing me say G4 TV, you might have just had like a triggering moment where you were like, and you just remembered all the
Attack of the Show, Cinematech.
Oh my God,
cops,
code monkeys,
cops, cheaters.
I think this is so relevant for the podcast because one of my favorite anime is Cops.
Yeah, it's top two animes. It's like JoJo's Cops. Like that's exactly
JoJo's Cops. Yeah.
Cheaters is a good third. Though.
Yeah.
It is a good third.
God, I can't.
There's a lot of drama.
I can't believe Cheaters was a real TV show. That's so weird to think about.
God, it was just.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous
and I loved it.
television show.
I would still watch it if I knew where to watch it.
If there was a way to, David would still.
If there was a way to watch it, I would binge Cheaters.
Those stylish shows. Have y'all seen have y'all ever seen Ghosted?
No.
This is the dumbest fucking. It's a show just like Cheaters where they go on and they find people that have been ghosted.
You're lying to me.
Online apps.
You're lying to me.
And they try and connect to these people, and sometimes they're catfishes. Sometimes they're not the person, but sometimes they're just like, I don't know. I just didn't want to talk to you anymore.
Where can I watch this, Kenny? Where do
Ghosted, Love Gone Missing? It's an MTV show.
It's so cringe.
Wait a second. Is that Adam Scott and Craig Robinson?
Wait, not that show, Jerry. I did the same.
No,
damn it! That was a scripted TV show starring Craig Robinson.
Speaking of which, didn't that show bomb?
It looks like it.
Yeah, I heard it was. It looked like it was gonna be good too.
Okay, what's the? Oh, Ghosted, Love Gone Missing. That's what we're looking for.
Yes.
It's the same type of Cheaters type show.
Wait, watch now free on MTV. Oh my God, I can watch.
Oh no,
that's all I want. That's all I want to do for the rest of my night.
Oh my God, Rachel Lindsay hosts this. She was Bachelorette.
She was David.
Bachelorette.
Okay, for those of you that are listening, I love reality TV, and I especially love Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Oh, this looks like trash TV, guys. But wow, it looks like I need to watch it.
I love trash TV. like Jersey Shore, epitome of trash TV.
The second season was hosted virtually. I'm gonna have to watch some of that.
No way! Oh, we gotta.
Due
watch
to the COVID-19 pandemic, the second season was
You gotta
hosted.
look at Catfish too, where they try and connect people with catfishes.
Weird.
Wait,
weird.
I've been ghosted.
Damn it, David.
You just try and get on the
You gotta
show.
get on the show. Get on the show. Get on the show.
Okay, on the show. Oh my god.
David, did you
Okay,
see
back
that?
to G4 TV.
Okay, yeah,
Don't
so
worry.
G4's coming back, and hopefully they bring back some trash TV like Cheaters. No, they probably will avoid that because that was when the network was on its downward spiral.
That's
when
when
they
it. That's when it was bombing really
Yeah,
bad.
and they slowly
That's
had
all
to-
they.
They had
It
to
was like
fill it. Mhm.
8 hours a day. It was like it was Cops back to back to back, then Cheaters back to back to back, and then Attack of the Show like at 5 p.m.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then like an episode of X Play.
Yep.
And then back to Cops and Cheaters.
Oh, they used to have a. Oh my gosh, what was that show called?
You guys remember Code Monkeys?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Code Monkeys was beautiful. 2 seasons of it too. A really good show. You should,
Love Code Monkeys.
people should still go watch it. What was that show? There was a show. I can't remember the name of the girl, but she's kind of famous still, I think. And she would like help you with like cheats. Like she would help you get like.
Yes.
Just
What was that
cheat.
show? Was it called Cheat?
It was just called. It was like cheat exclamation point.
Oh my god, that one is like
Bro,
stuck in my head.
In
I
an
got
age,
GTA cheats from that show.
bro, in an
Yes.
age where you can just Google cheats now, like it is, like think about
It's
the way that you had to find secrets was so hard
Yeah.
back in that time, and now like what? I just type how to or like she would go through like, oh, this is how you get through the water temple, or shit like that, and it's like now it's like I just like, oh, what's the video? I just go to YouTube. Okay, I got it.
I hope that Kristen Adams Kristen Holt. I think it looks like she might be married now.
She was on the reunion.
She was actually a contestant in the very first season of American Idol. And she's from
Really?
Plano. She's from Plano, also, Kenny, Plano, Texas.
Wow.
And she made it pretty far. And then it was like after that she got hired to do Cheat, and that's like all I knew her from was Cheat.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, she graduated from Texas Christian University, Kenny.
Oh,
So
bro, I
she's
live
like,
down the street from there.
yeah, we're like pretty local to her, or her where she grew up. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure they still do stuff like online, like involving games and stuff like that. So you might still be able to find something to do with her. But she was back for the reunion.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm excited. That's another person who I have blocked out of my memory until right now. But yeah,
I think about Adam Sessler all the time.
yeah, Crazy Adam, dude. Have you seen? He did like a new Crazy Adam video, which is like one of his old bits from X Play. Crazy Adam, welcome to Crazy Adam's Emporium, and he, did these like gay.
Oh
he,
my
he
Oh
did-
my god!
He already did, like-
I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah,
God,
X
and
Play.
for-
X Play had the best sketches, like video game sketches, skit comedy. Like X Play had the best skits, dude. I thought it was so
And
dope.
for like nerdy video game people, like the people from G4 were the ones that were hosting, the E3 stuff and any sort of game shows. They
Yeah.
would go and do the full-time coverage. And so like these were people that not only would you see on TV, they were like intimately connected with a lot of our memories of great releases. I remember going to Adam Sessler after the Wii got announced, and he was talking about, or the DS, and he was talking about all the girls walking around with DSs literally attached to them on belts.
Yeah.
He's like, it's so like weird, but like, and they were like playing the DS.
Well, yeah.
but
What's
they
his
had
name? Jeff Keighley. You guys remember him?
Yeah.
He used to have
Yeah,
a show on
he
G4,
hosts
and then
the Game Awards.
but he is still involved. He's the Game Awards guy. Like and I want
Yeah.
to say that that all came to fruition because of his experience when he was doing G4. I mean, I assume that's where he probably came from, and maybe he probably had other connections and stuff, and that's how that all worked out.
Well, sure.
But yeah, he was big in the E3 coverage for G4 every year. He like always did it. And I remember thinking, oh, that's a good guy. And then he did the Game Awards, and now he still does that. To this day, he's still doing the Game Awards, which is super cool to see. I wonder if Jeff
They recently announced nominees for all their categories.
Yes. Animal Crossing New Horizons for Game of the Year, David. That's my guess. We'll
Ghost
see.
of Tsushima, bro.
Probably, honestly.
I feel like Animal Crossing, even though it's really not the best game, Ghost of Tsushima probably
it
deserves
shouldn't be. Well, yeah.
What? I mean-
haven't played. I didn't play Ghost of Tsushima. I really want to though.
I've watched enough.
Right.
of it
Animal
to know-
Crossing. Animal Crossing, like I'm a huge gaming guy. For those of you that don't know, Animal Crossing. I have Animal Crossing. It's so much fun.
Oh, do you,
David? With what's happened this year, it's made it even like because everyone would stay at home and Animal Crossing. Like people, I remember seeing things like people like having their weddings over Animal Crossing or like birthday parties and like social gatherings over Animal Crossing.
Yep, university events. We hosted stuff over. They hosted stuff over Animal Crossing. I mean, people were doing like work functions via Animal Crossing. I mean, like this was like it was such an integral part of 2020 that even though it maybe isn't as technically like impressive,
like gameplay wise and all that stuff, right? But like for the social relevance, it might win Game of the Year off of that alone.
Yeah,
and this is all I think people voting. This is all like from the public.
Oh, so, okay, yeah. I didn't know
because you can just go on the website and vote.
So I hope that it does win, honestly, even if it's not the, and there's been some interesting Game of the Years over the years from the Game Awards.
I'm a Ghost of Tsushima stan, so.
Yeah. I didn't realize Sekiro won last year.
Sekiro's a good one.
Yeah, Sekiro won last year. I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool. Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, all the Game of the Year are like really, really fun.
Yeah, for the game, I think that overall the winners of Game of the Years for the last, it looks like they've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've only had 6 ceremonies, so it started back in 2014.
It's pretty young.
And to me, I mean, Dragon Age Inquisition, Witcher 3, Overwatch, Breath of the Wild, God of War, and Sekiro, which those are all
Animal
definitely
Crossing.
Oh, dude, I hope it's Animal Crossing. But yeah, I think all those make a lot of sense, and they were all very much highlights of the years that they came out. So, no, the Game Awards is new because they used to be called the Spike Video Game Awards. You remember that? They used to be hosted by Spike. That's what I'm like, I could have sworn it went back deper than that.
Oh, yeah, Spike is dead.
Yeah, Spike TV.
Forgot about that.
So, yeah, they go back much further with Spike, I think. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, well, we don't want to get too into the weeds about G4, but hopefully there's some other nerds out there that are excited about its return, excited to see what the future holds. Looks like they're teaming up with a lot of Twitch people. They're teaming up with a lot of internet personalities. They've got Xavier Woods coming to host a show. They've got a bunch of their classic people returning. It looks promising. Hopefully they produce something that we really like. And here we are, almost 50 minutes, guys, into this episode, and we're going to tackle tonight's subject, which is, what anime are we most thankful for? Yes, it's Thanksgiving week. It's beautiful Thanksgiving week. Some people might not celebrate Thanksgiving for what Thanksgiving is, but we want to talk to you guys what anime we're most thankful for, because we have grown up and lived in this anime world for so long. I have been watching anime for so long that it just feels weird to think about like the value that it's added to my life. And yeah, I was just feeling thankful, and I was like, let's talk about some of our favorite shows and tell people why we love them so much, and why they've made such a big impact. And I can't think of any better story than to start you off with what I've been doing this week, which has been some of the most interesting days of my life over the last couple of days. Boys, make sure you chime in, or else my headset's going to shut off, and then you guys I won't be able to hear this.
We'll chime in with the occasional,
yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Okay, so quick story.
That's nice.
When I was just a wee lad, I was introduced by my older brother to an anime series called Bleach, and I remember it very clearly because I was probably in either late elementary or early middle school, so maybe like 6th grade, 7th grade, something like that. And I was handed a laptop with all the episodes up to the point, which they were only up to like there was less than 100 episodes out when this happened. I think the Bount arc was still airing when I caught up on it. So I was handed this thing, and prior to this, I was already an anime like kid, right? Like Kenny and you remember, we used to watch Naruto, all the dub stuff. We were like really into dubbed anime already. But my older brother felt like it was at the point where I could start reading subtitled anime. So this anime hadn't come out in English yet. There was no official subtitled version. Back in the day, you had to use illegal means in order to watch this anime. And I was handed a laptop, and I was told to watch Bleach. And I remember I watched Bleach, and I watched the hell out of it. I watched it weekly. I read it weekly all the way until the end of high school, which is when I pretty much gave up on it. As they finished up the Fullbring arc, I watched the last arc of the anime. I watched I read up to the end of the Fullbring arc in the manga, and I always told myself, okay, I'm going to read the next arc. And here we are, almost 10 years later, and I never read the last arc. So I've never read the final arc.
You never read it.
I watched.
So you don't know what happens.
I watched the Fullbringer arc in the anime, so I watched through the end of the anime, and I read the manga up through the end of the Fullbringer arc, because at some point during the Arrancar arc, Hueco Mundo, I switched over to being the manga. And so I would read the manga every week, and then I would also watch the anime. And then, and Kenny, I don't even remember when all this got muddled together, because I feel like at that point we started just watching so much other stuff. For a long time in my childhood, I remember, David, when we were in high school, there were, at least most of high school, I would read Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece every week. Like, I was at a point where we would read all three. And I remember, we would talk about it. Carlos would watch it with us, or read with us. Ian would read with us. Like, everyone was reading all three series. And it's so weird because,
I remember being in your room, the chapter of Ace's death coming out. And everyone around you like freaking out.
Oh my God.
I remember.
It's so crazy.
I
remember because when Carlos and I caught up on One Piece, it was still at, like, they had just finished Thriller Bark. We caught up on One Piece when Thriller Bark hadn't even ended in the anime. That feels like so long ago.
It is.
That feels like so fucking long ago. Holy shit.
It's an immense amount of time.
Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. But yeah, we caught up on One Piece when it was, it's weird to think. But so Bleach, same thing. So Bleach is what I consider the first anime that I watched subbed. After that, I went on to watch so much subbed anime. I have seen, all I pretty much watch is subtitle anime. I don't really even watch dubs anymore as an adult, but as a child, this was my first entry anime, and I have not revisited Bleach since then. The last thing I watched of Bleach was the Fullbringer arc of the anime, and that was my last actual, because I had read the Fullbringer arc of the manga prior to even watching the anime, so the anime of the Fullbringer arc is my last interaction with Bleach. That must have been over 10 years ago. And since then, obviously, I remember the manga chapters trickling out. I know a couple spoilers about the final arc just from reading stuff online, being in the community, blah, 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 being Kenny's brother. You just kind of learn spoilers when you're around Kenny. Things like that. But
it's hard not to get spoiled in this day and age.
It really is. And so, it's no big deal. But I haven't really thought about Bleach since, and my wife, we always watch our anime together now. And she's never seen Bleach. She's never seen it. Same way she had never seen Yu Yu Hakusho. And so last year, we watched all of Yu Yu Hakusho. And then this year, when they announced that the final arc of Bleach was coming out, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to watch that because I never read the manga. And she's like, well, I want to watch it with you. And I was like, well, you're not going to be able to. You've never seen it. So a couple months back, we were like, okay, we're going to start. This was like, when did the Bleach announcement happen, Kenny? Was it at Comic-Con this year or something? It was a little bit earlier this year. It was a couple months back. Sometime during the pandemic, they made the announcement that the new Bleach was coming out next year. So in the last 8 months, for sure. And so Alyssa was like, okay, Jerry, let's start Bleach. So we started it, and we got like maybe 5 or 6 episodes in. We didn't even get to the Grand Fisher fight. Like, we watched like the first 4 episodes or something.
That's episode 6.
Yeah, because that's like episode 6. We didn't even get to that little part. We just stopped there. And so this last week, we had just finished like our third other show. We watched like regular show. We watched every episode of regular show. And we were like, okay, what are we going to watch next? And Alyssa was like, let's get back to Bleach. See if we can get through it before the new season comes out. And so that was like Thursday night. And it's now Sunday that we're recording this. Shoot, no, it's Monday. Is it Tuesday?
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. So it's been about 5 days since we started back up, and we just hit episode 53. So in the last like 5 days, we've watched like give or take 50 episodes. And wow, this show is so bad, guys. Oh my God, Kenny!
You scared Jerry. You scared Kenny away.
I said Bleach is so bad, Kenny had to leave the chat. What? Okay, so it's so good though. It's one of my favorite things I've watched in a long time. But wow, I thought that Araki was bad about forgetting stuff. Kubo was a major offender, guys. He was a major offender of introducing concepts.
What do you forget, Jerry?
I talked about this months ago.
I know.
Grand Fisher becomes a Visored in chapter 16.
Yeah, what is happening, dude?
Or he becomes an Arrancar in chapter 16.
But
we don't hear about them again forever.
Yeah, dude, like Kubo. Okay, so a couple just miscellaneous notes in the first 50 episodes of Bleach. So I'm super thankful for Bleach because this is why we're talking about it. Bleach is one of the animes that introduced me to subtitled anime. It is a huge part of my childhood. I will forever love Bleach. And even on this rewatch, it's fucking badass. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Bleach set the standard for like sword fighting animes and animes. If Dragon Ball like created the Super Saiyan idea, Bleach was all about going a level beyond that. Like every time someone had a new power up, the enemy just randomly also had a new power up, and then they had a new power up, and they were like, "Oh, you've never heard of my Bankai? Oh, well, guess what? This is my Bankai's true form. Oh, well, this is my Bankai's elevated state. Well, I'm actually the Fullbringer version of each. You know, like
fucking Byakuya fight.
There was always it was like there was always something else that got pulled out of their ass.
Ichigo is both a Shinigami, a Hollow,
right?
A
Quincy, right?
Yeah, he's a Quincy and a Fullbringer.
Oh, and a
all
Fullbringer.
Mashed together.
Sorry, yeah.
Everything.
Whatever things led to his birth. Okay, so lots of great things that just Kubo's. First off, for fuck's sake, Orihime. What?
She's a Fullbringer.
Let's just talk about Orihime for like 6 seconds. In the first couple episodes, we're introduced to Orihime. She's a dunce. Mm-hmm. She's okay friends with Ichigo. She's around, right? She gets spiritual powers that sort of, it's explained away as like leaking off of Ichigo. Her powers were always there, but they were tapped into because Ichigo got these Shinigami powers. And then on episode 16, she just ponies the fuck up and just jumps into another universe with Ichigo to go fight for this, to go save Rukia. We have maybe seen her at that point like 3 times, guys. Like 3 moments.
Same with Chad.
And at least
Chad.
The only thing that I give Chad I give Kubo props. Chad makes a little bit more sense because he was a loner. He didn't have any family. And we got at least one flashback of Chad and Ichigo developing a personal relationship and bond. Chad says out loud, I would do anything for Ichigo because of the things he's done for me. And at least Chad makes like a modicum of sense. He didn't really have anything to lose. He doesn't really have any other goals. He honestly, protecting Ichigo and being involved with this is like his thing. And so cool. Orihime was a normal fucking girl. Like she was. Now they did also her family is dead, which it does have an episode. She has no living family, so she's also kind of a loner. And she is obviously a little emotionally unstable. That's kind of how she's introduced.
And she's in love with Ichigo.
Right, and then that's like, I guess, the underlying thing. Kubo,
come on.
And she's also friends with Rukia at the beginning.
Kubo doesn't
she becomes
lay,
close to Rukia pretty early on.
He doesn't really lay the pipe work in the first arc. It feels like Rukia and Ichigo are developing a relationship, but then they introduce Renji on episode 16, and the following 40 episodes, because I'm up to episode 50 right now. Rukia and Renji pretty clearly are getting shipped, if that makes any sense. You start to get all these flashbacks of them when they were in school together. Yeah. Renji sacrifices himself. On the episode I literally just watched, like, Renji showed up before Ichigo even does, and Byakuya, he KOs Renji, as Renji, like, unleashes his Bankai for the first time. Clearly Renji is now the primary person for Rukia, love interest-wise, but Orihime's, like, love for Ichigo is, like, maybe touched on, like, momentarily, and it's played off for jokes in the early episodes, like because there's like their whole group of friends, and like one of them's a lesbian for some reason who just like wants to touch Orihime's boobs. You guys remember that?
There's
like a character
that's
like, she's like randomly like a fucking super lesbian that just like aggressively flirts with Orihime. By the way, lots of weird shit happens in the first 16 episodes of Bleach, guys. The tone was all off. Like, everything feels... It doesn't really make... Bleach gets good at episode 16. If you want to try to watch Bleach right now, Bleach gets focused at episode 16 when they go to the Soul Society. And that's when the story becomes a little more... There's more content there. But let's talk about some more... So, I think that in some ways, Kubo just decided that Orihime was good to go. I just don't think I think potentially he had another story arc planned for her or something in those early days, but maybe got rushed into pushing himself towards a more focused arc. That's my guess, is that most likely his publishers told him, hey man, let's pick this up. And Orihime just got thrown into the mix because he knew he wanted to do something with her. So there's one thing where I just felt, okay, great. Just so much in Ichigo's initial development as a Soul Reaper. First off, the Hado techniques, the fuck are those? They just sort of disappear after the first 20, 30 episodes. They just disappear.
Well,
all of that.
They come back somewhat.
I can't even give him. I know that he attempts to bring them back in certain areas, and maybe he brings them back even more in the final arc. But that's another thing that it just feels like he developed. Here's an idea he had, and he wanted to do something with it, and then he's like, they fight with swords and they go Bankai.
It's never really like explained like well, like it's not like well thought out of like what these are, how these work.
It feels like it honestly constantly feels like Kubo was like writing the next chapters like right as he was doing it. Like it's almost like he just didn't have a plan ever. Like he was, if you're watching the anime, like think about when Renji shows up and he's a lieutenant in the very first scene, right? And then Byakuya is there with him, and Byakuya obviously won't release his Shikai that early in the series. They had their powers limited is a line that's actually in the show. We were in the human world, so we had to have our powers limited. And then we get to them in Soul Society, and Renji and Ichigo have their big fight. And Renji, for some reason, at that point, doesn't have access to his Bankai. Shows up later to Deus Ex Machina train into his Bankai. Again, I'm like, why doesn't he have a Bankai? Like, every other lieutenant had one. Which is something that just later...
Lieutenants don't have Bankais.
They aren't required
to.
They're not required to, but a lot of them just happen to have them. You know what I mean? Like,
that is true.
It's weird that, like, Renji, who is, the lieutenant to Byakuya, who the whole first story is like building up as like the strongest captain in some ways, right? Like his soul pressure is super powerful. He is the final fight of the first arc. Byakuya is like the big guy. Why would he not have required his lieutenant to be fucking have his Bankai? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then even that, like, I was just like, they could have done, like, Kubo just like left those threads like so untangled. He just started like doing stuff. And not just that. Okay, so I just got to the part also, Aizen is killed, right? He's killed, but he's not really dead.
He's gonna...
And Kubo was like, I just feel like when Kubo started writing this like sub mystery plot, there's this whole sub mystery plot. It's like Toshiro and Momo are like friends from childhood, and Momo was Aizen's lieutenant. And so she's really frustrated to find Aizen dead. She thinks Gin did it. And then Gin misleads her to think Toshiro did it. And there's all this stuff, right? There's this like subversion. You're constantly trying to get subverted. And I just feel like each moment is like Kubo going like, ha, I got you guys. Like everything. He's like, I got you guys. And I'm like, dude.
He was tricky.
Man, finally, no,
Kubo.
Turns out Aizen's not going to be dead, bro. Jerry,
I'm like,
and then
I know,
bro.
But I'm just like, Kubo, no.
Do you know who has to fight one of the letters in the final arc, bro?
Who, Kenny? We couldn't. You whispered too quietly.
So wait, yeah, let's just spoilers.
We won't do it.
If you heard that,
if you heard that, then it's all yours. No. But yeah, the reality of it just feels like at some point. And I think this is why Bleach spins so far out of control by the end, or by at least the end of the Fullbring arc. It's got to be, it feels like Kubo was constantly just writing himself into a corner. Like he just didn't know where he was going to go next. So he would just come up with some other like crazy off the wall thing. And as an anime series, I hate to say this, God, I'm going to hate myself for this, but it actually kind of works. Like it's just like zany enough and just serious enough that it actually is fucking fun to watch. Like every episode is just wild enough. There's just enough like power leveling. And you've got Noriyuki Abe, who is the director of the entire series. So the entire anime version of Bleach is directed by Noriyuki Abe. That means all 366 episodes. And the same thing, he also directed every single episode of Yu Yu Hakusho. And so Noriyuki Abe is a very trained shonen director. And Studio Pierrot does a really good job of bringing Bleach to life, even in the early episodes. So the first arc is all in fucking 480p. It's the square. It's not HD yet.
Right.
So we're still watching it in fucking the box before we go widescreen. I think it goes widescreen in the Iran cars or something. Somewhere in there, and we hit the HD TV trend. But Noriyuki Abe helps that show to stay alive as well because his directorial style just really handles like battles really well. So the fight scenes feel really fluid. And another crazy thing is I started looking it up and I was like, this story moves really fast. The first arc of Bleach, so like the first 60 episodes, covers like 200 chapters. So like,
Yeah.
it moves at like a 3 to 4 chapter an episode pace. And that's why that first season just feels so dope. But it's also why they had to do a like 45 episode filler episode. Yeah.
Bout arc.
The bout arc,
bro.
It's why they had to do this 45 episode huge, massive fucking filler dump that happens.
Yeah.
Like right after the first arc. And
they have a second one.
they have a lot of like chunks of filler. After this though, you know, the bout arc sort of creates this like, there was like a natural stopping place. But then after that, they just started like inserting filler arcs of just random. But the good thing about Bleach compared to like Naruto had this habit of like forcing the viewer to think that what they're watching is like a part of the plot, or like subverting you into like another. But Bleach will literally just like, one episode we're in the plot, the next episode's like Don Kanonji and his Super Rangers, and you're like, okay, I can skip that.
Wait,
you know?
wait, Don Kanonji and the Super Rangers was a real chapter.
No. The very first Don Kanonji episode is manga canon, but there are so many additional filler Don Kanonji episodes where he like continues to show up.
There's one in the manga because they're the people that are left to protect Karakura Town.
Mm-hmm.
That's like maybe
Yuzu
during the
and
Arankar arc.
Oh, really?
I think that's way later.
I know the little girl and little boy from Urahara shop, as well as Ichigo's two sisters, helped Don Kanonji fight a hollow.
Yeah.
You're sure that's because for sure the first 2 times that happens, it's 100% filler. There are 2 episodes during Soul Society where it just cuts away, and I looked it up. Like they're just 100% filler. They had no context.
Sure that there is one time where that is fully real.
Okay, yeah. I thought that too. I remember when I was talking to Alyssa about it. I'm pretty sure there is an episode where Don Kanonji returns that is canon. But I knew that the anime added a bunch of episodes that are filler where he comes back. But yeah, Bleach is just, I mean, I would not have watched 50 episodes of very many shows in like a weekend, and Bleach was just so easy to watch, and it's so much fun, and it's just what makes shonen great. Like, the reason why shows like Demon Slayer can do what they're doing are all because of shows like Bleach. Like, Bleach laid the groundwork for just absurdity, and I've loved Bleach, like, even in the rewatch, it's, and I mentioned this to you guys over text, it's kind of silly. Like, there's some, like, obviously, like, comical moments that help to manage.
The beginning of Bleach is pretty funny.
Yeah, the first arc is got a lot of humor, but it does slowly phase out a little bit. But there's still moments that are really great cutaway bits and gags and character interactions that are totally canon and actually are pretty funny and have some really great moments. Kubo's got a good sense of humor in that, and I think it helps to allow you to kind of, in ways like One Piece, right? Like One Piece might get flamed for maybe not having the most. If you write the plot down on a piece of paper, it might not sound the most interesting. Or maybe it would sound interesting. It would just not sound very, maybe like serious is the word I would use. Bleach does a good job as well of kind of maintaining that. When I like think of characters like Mayuri that are like pretty violent and abusive and aggressive, but that are also kind of like quirky and weird and funny. That's the type of characters that Kubo really excelled at writing, because he is not a good, he's not a good writer. He's just not a good writer, guys.
But his art makes up for it.
Beautiful artist, though.
And maybe if he had more time to really put together his thoughts. You know, I think that Bleach was almost hurt by its popularity because he had to keep writing. He had to continue to write every week. Forever.
I mean, it was big 3. It was top 3. So, I mean, there was a lot of pressure to get something out.
Like I said, Ken, I think that he really succumbed to, like, every week he just had to, like, make something else up, because I just don't think he was ever... I don't know if he ever sat down and mapped out what Bleach was going to look like if it had lasted this long. I don't think he ever thought it was going to last this long. So I think that he was just constantly making stuff up.
Yeah, some of the plot points that he wraps up in the final arc are points that, like, are from season 1. Like, you're like, these are plot threads that he shot into the universe and didn't know how he was going to get back to them. Mm-hmm. And I think that, he finally does do a good job. I think the final arc is great of Bleach.
Yeah.
Urahara's Bankai.
Yep.
Urahara's Bankai. It's just funny because, like, Urahara does it. Urahara is one of the first on-screen Shikais that you see in the entire series. It's like episode 11 or something. He does his Shikai, and then like never, even though his Bankai is literally mentioned as like and then you even get there's like a big flashback arc at one point too. That happens.
He doesn't use it then.
Never see it.
Like in Yorichi, right?
Yeah, there's like a huge flashback arc that happens late in the game, and you get like a bunch of flashback to when they were working in the Society. Still nothing. And finally, I believe it happens late into the final arc, right, Kenny, where he actually does activate his Bankai. So you finally see Urahara's Bankai.
Same thing with Kenpachi.
Yeah.
Zaraki Kenpachi doesn't use a Shikai until the final arc. Like,
yeah, it's implied.
I think we see Onohana's too.
Yeah, in the final arc.
That's interesting.
Unohana, yeah.
It's
a lot of swords are unleashed from captains in particular in that final arc.
And it's mainly because to me it's like the Soul Society arc was all about the captains, but then pretty much everything after that had like nothing to do with Soul Society. There was like very little intertwink like tingles of it, like the last half of the actual like Aizen arc, whatever you want to call it, the last half. Remember, the whole Soul Society shows up to fight all of his people, but
right.
Fake Karakura Town.
Fake Karakura Town. Yeah, that's exactly what you'd call it.
Because technically, they create a replica of Karakura Town inside of the Soul Society.
Bleach is stupid. Okay. Bleach is stupid, dude. No,
and then Ichigo ends up in a portal for 6 months to master his Bankai with his dad, and then he comes out of it and
6 months in that portal, but in reality, it's just like a few hours.
His hair's longer. Yeah.
My name Ichigo. I bleach. No.
And then he comes out of that and kills Aizen in one hit, and you're like,
but he's no longer a Soul Reaper.
Yeah.
But then he becomes a Soul Reaper again.
Well, first he becomes a Fullbringer. And then
he's a Fullbringer.
He was always.
Then he goes Power Ranger. Ichigo.
Yeah. He was always a Fullbringer and always a Quincy. He just hadn't unlocked those powers.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, he was also always a Soul Reaper.
And always part Hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was always a Hollow.
It was all in there somewhere. Whatever. Okay, yeah, Bleach is great. And we needed to talk about it because I've just been watching so much of it, and I'm just really thankful for it because it is the show that made me watch subbed anime, and it's weird now because I've just seen so much, and that's my show. So that's the one I wanted to talk about. Boys, what are your? Give me a show. Let's deep dive a show from your guys's.
All right. So what I'm very thankful for is Vampire Night. Honestly,
you son of a bitch.
But like Vampire Night, ironically, but also unironically, because it was what that and I would say Dragon Ball were my introductions to manga as a whole. But I want to answer this question two ways. So the nostalgic answer, kind of what got me into anime, what I'm thankful for, and then also what I'm thankful for this year, because it's kind of been like my resurgence into anime. So I'll talk a little bit more about like what I'm thankful for going into the holidays, into next year, what I'm excited to see. So for the nostalgic answer, I would say Cowboy Bebop is what I would say is whenever I think back to the like late at night, like pitch dark in my room, just my TV's on and I got Adult Swim on. I remember vividly like listening to like the Real Folk Blues or Tank playing, and just like not really like remembering like the episode because Adult Swim kind of played them out of order. But just the feeling of just being in that moment and just watching Spike do some bullshit or just listening to the music of Cowboy Bebop is super nostalgic. And I remember just like watching, like, I mean, as I'm sure a lot of you that are listening, watching Toonami, so Sailor Moon, like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, just like all those anime. Like I remember watching them and not even like knowing like, oh, this is called anime. Just like thinking that they were just basic cartoons with like a really cool art style. And I wasn't really into or discovered anime as anime until I met you in high school. And you were like, David, don't read that Vampire Knight shit.
Yeah.
Read One Piece.
Get your shit together, David.
Vampire Knight.
As he would slap me, he's like, "Don't watch it. Don't read this shit." But like off and on, like throughout my life, I guess up until a few months ago, where I've been watching anime religiously. It's been off and on with just the very mainstream animes. So I mean, I'm thankful overall for just being able to recognize, oh, this is anime, and just like falling in love with it, and having friends who know more about it than I do to introduce me to anime. And now I'm thankful for going into this holiday season. I have my backlog is gigantic now. So I'm super thankful that these anime exist. I'm super thankful for Attack on Titan. I'm so excited.
Are you gonna catch up? Because the new season comes out in 2 weeks, right?
I'm a binge that shit, Jerry.
You got it, dude. I want you to watch it with us while it's coming out.
4 seasons. I'm binging the 4 seasons. I'm so thankful that anime exists.
It's good.
I'm also very thankful for websites that exist for me to read the rest of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Because
illegal websites, no.
Whoa.
Legal with a Lee. Legal websites, because I recently purchased JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven.
Oh, nice.
On my PS5.
Yes, I have that one, David.
There was a hella deal, and I was like, I'm gonna buy this, and I beat it, and now I know. Well, I knew the main antagonist of parts 6, 7, and 8.
What do you think
nothing
of the
was
game?
spoiled. I mean, the game's fun. I
didn't love it. I thought it was meh.
I mean, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. I wish it was more of like a 2D, like a 1v1, like 2D fighter.
Me too.
With like great graphics, and I mean like the animations, the poses, like the catchphrases. Like I'm loving all the references, because I feel like I'm part of the in group because I get all of them. So that's really cool. But
that's a motherfucking JoJo's reference.
It's a motherfucking JoJo's reference.
It's a motherfucking JoJo's reference.
But no, I mean, my main spiel with all this is that I'm super thankful that there's a lot of great anime that exists that I haven't seen yet, and excited to talk about those with you two, because I know we have slated a lot of good review episodes planned in the future.
We have so much more to come.
So I mean, I have a lot of days off of work these next few days, so I'm planning on just binging anime those entire days. So
wow. That's awesome.
I'm really
excited.
I
think it's so interesting, because I think, David, what you were saying about how like everyone in our generation probably watched anime as a kid, whether they knew it or not. And I think that that's what's allowed anime to be so pervasive in like modern culture, is that we're all adults now, and we are more receptive to it because we all grew up with some form of it, especially like Dragon Ball, right? Like Dragon Ball, I mean, you said it. Dragon Ball was probably, I mean, Kitty, do you remember a time where we weren't watching Dragon Ball as a kid? Like, I feel like we always had Dragon Ball on, or at least like something like Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Those are anime, and we just didn't know it when we were kids. But I was really into Naruto, unfortunately, as a kid. Yeah.
I remember watching Yu Yu Hakusho before I even knew that was an anime. This is an awesome show.
I'm not even sure if I've told the story on the podcast before, but yeah, Kenny, you probably remember this, but when Yu Yu Hakusho got moved to the 4 a.m. time slot, there was this the last couple arcs of Yu Yu Hakusho got moved to like 4 a.m. And I would go to sleep on Saturday night. I would wake up at 4 a.m. I would put a VHS into a VHS player. I would press record. I would go back to sleep until the episode was over. I would wake up, turn the VHS recording button off, and then I'd go back to sleep, and then I'd wake up in the morning the next day, and I would watch my Yu Yu Hakusho episode. And I always hated it because if I like didn't wake up in time, I would like miss it, or like sometimes I'd just wake up and I would just stay awake and watch the episode live. But that was like the last arc, like the final arc of Yu Yu Hakusho, all aired that way at this weird like nighttime time slot that was like way after Toonami. And Kenny, I used to make you do it. We would, instead of actually waking up on Saturday mornings to watch all of our shows, I would make someone wake up, put a VHS tape in, press record the whole day's worth of shows, and then we'd watch it later. Like, we'd wake up later and watch the shows. That it's just weird because, like, we all grew up with this, like, whatever the hell this was. And it's much more... talking to Nakama last week, right? Talking to Woke Sage, this is just a part of our generation, and it's definitely a huge part of the new generation as well. People younger than us, anime has become a part of American culture in a way that I don't think anyone could have expected 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, when it was a very niche, very, very like small market. So it's so cool, David. And obviously, David, yes, you have to watch, just JoJo's, man. It's just...
Yeah.
JoJo's.
And also to echo that, like, I remember there were times when I remember like really liking Trigun for some reason.
Trigun was fun.
And Trigun would be on like at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And I remember like falling asleep like at 7 p.m., waking up like at midnight. And then like midnight on, there would be like Inuyasha, Trigun, Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
What else? Like
watching Yasha feels weird.
Evangelion.
Yep. Inuyasha.
Like all of those shows were all great shows.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason they got like the shit end of the time slot. And I remember like in the very beginning of Toonami, there would be like every Saturday, like from 6 to 10, they would have like Naruto, Bleach, like a bunch of I can't remember.
Toonami had like a real block on TV. For quite a while.
It still does.
Until
it does now still.
Right? Yeah, but it slowly moved to Adult Swim. Toonami used to be like for kids. Like it was like a kids TV show. Like Bobo and
fucking
Rave Master.
Bobo.
Yeah, Bobo, Rave Master. And Bobo did the parody style of like transformations and fusions and shit way earlier than anybody did. Like the fact that, Don Patch and Bobo would fuse together, and it was just wild.
I gotta rewatch that show.
Dude,
I would love to rewatch
anywhere.
I don't know. Maybe Funimation.
Okay, Kenny, David, do you guys remember? Okay, so I just looked up a couple old Adult Swim anime. By the way, Bobo's the dub is like way better than the subtitle version, and it's really hard to find nowadays. But I would love to go rewatch the dub of Bobo because they altered it so much that it's funnier in my opinion. Like
Shin-Chan was like that as well.
Yeah, like Shin-Chan. The dub group that did it was able to completely Americanize it and completely rewrite the scripts. So I actually like the dub of Bobo because I think it's way funny. Like it's very Americanized and it's funny that way. But a couple ones that I just looked up from Adult Swim. Do you guys remember Blood Plus?
Yep.
Vampire killing.
What about show?
Yeah.
What about Blue Gender? Do you guys remember Blue Gender?
With the bugs.
Guy wakes up and there's just like a fucking planet of like giant insects that he has to
he's
kill.
on like a bug planet. He's gonna kill. Dude. He's gonna kill him.
And then this one was big for us, Kenny, back in the day because we used to watch it religiously, and that's Case Closed.
Yep.
When we
I've genuinely been thinking about catching up on Case Closed.
Kenny and I, when we were kids, Kenny, we must have watched the first 100 to 200 episodes. We used to like, we watched the crap out of it in order. We watched all the movies. Like we were really into
Moonlight Sonata, bro. Mm-hmm. Like fuck.
And then obviously, I can't believe we forgot this one. Code Geass aired on Adult Swim, both seasons.
Geass did.
Mm-hmm. The dub of, although at this point I already watched it subbed when it aired as a dub, but the dub of Death Note aired on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
The original Full Metal Alchemist, obviously. That's a huge Adult Swim show that I've completely missed. What else is on here? I feel like there's a couple more. All the Gundam series aired on Adult Swim. The earlier Gundam.
Shining Finger.
The Shining Finger one, I think, actually was Toonami, but the later seasons eventually switched over to Adult Swim. And then you've got Neon Genesis. Do you guys remember the show Moribito? Did you guys ever watch? Kenny, you must have watched it with me.
Probably.
It was like set in like.
What's it about?
It was like set in like.
Party of the Spirit?
It was like set in like feudal Japan, sort of, and there was like a strong female lead. She like carried around like a fucking it was like a
pole or something, right?
Yeah, like a pole with a like a spear type of weapon. Yes,
I remember this. I remember like commercials for this show.
Yes, it was really really underrated, and it was really not very good either. But it is certainly a memory in my mind of another anime that came on.
I do remember this show. Yeah,
Escriad or Scried. which is
I remember that one.
That show is ridiculous. I tried to go watch clips from it.
I want to watch that one back.
I need to rewatch it because that show never should have, like, it's really not a very popular anime series. It only had 26 episodes.
Somehow
it is so
one of the ones on the block.
Right. That's one of the ones that made it onto American TV, and because that it still has like a bit of a cult following. I would love to see like a new version or something because it was just so wild. Power scaling was crazy in that show.
Yeah, it was just like people were unbelievably powerful and then like super weak.
Yep.
And you're like,
mm-hmm. And then obviously Trigun, Trinity Blood was another one, another vampire
Trinity
sort of
Blood,
show.
I remember.
Wolf's Rain. I don't know if you guys remember that. The guys that would turn into wolves. Yep. And then obviously since Toonami has transitioned over into a Adult Swim program, they have a tons of anime have aired on the new Toonami, right? Like Akame ga Kill, Attack on Titan,
Hunter.
Black Lagoon.
They got My Hero.
They did Black Lagoon on the new Toonami, David? Wow.
Yeah.
They did.
That's cool.
Like way after though.
Yeah, Bleach, Blue. Way
after it was released.
This aired on Toonami in 2014, which I'm pretty sure Black Lagoon came out like the early 2000s. Blue Exorcist, Casher and Sins, Deadman Wonderland, all the shit's on Toonami now. So honestly, I think the new generation is spoiled.
Memories.
So spoiled the new generation is because
and they can just get Crunchyroll.
Yeah, you can watch any anime you want. Honestly, when we were little, I had to fucking put my goddamn VHS player. So I am thankful that anime has gotten so globalized, and I think that's part of what you were getting at, David. Is just anime is so much more accessible, and we're just grateful that now we can have these backlog. And yeah, I guess I'm trying to think, David, you always like kept up with some manga and anime, but I guess you were never like as deep into it in your later years. You were pretty into it in high school.
In college?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was just say like in college, like I remember freshman year, I can't remember. I think I read from the beginning of One Piece all through where it was at the time, which I think it was post time skip.
Yeah.
And
I remember that. I remember you read that. Was that our freshman year? You read it?
Freshman year. I would be in the res hall. I would be in our room.
Our room.
Just at the desk, just like reading One Piece.
Oh my god, I remember.
And I read all of Naruto.
Oh yeah.
That year. And I think I read all of Bleach. So I just kept up with the big three.
Yeah. It's so interesting because and then you got addicted to League of Legends and you pretty much didn't do anything but go to school and play League of Legends for 3 years.
Basically, yeah.
Everyone was.
I had a girlfriend. I worked and I did school stuff. I didn't really have any time for anime.
Yeah, it was just funny. I just remember it was like the moment you'd get home from anything. Once you were done, it was just always League of Legends, dude. Every time, but
don't play League of Legends. That shit's a drug.
It's an addiction, right. It sucks.
If you're addicted to anything, just be addicted to watching it.
Yeah, be addicted. Go get addicted to crack or something. No, don't do that. Don't get addicted to it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'd rather you get addicted to League of Legends. But yeah, so it's pretty cool to see
anime, League of Legends, crack.
It's cool because the same kind of thing happened to me though, David. You know, I feel like we were so busy in college that I kept up with anime for the most part and still watched a lot of stuff, but it wasn't until, 2-3 years ago when we graduated that I like went full force back into it, right? Like I was watching shows constantly, watching stuff seasonally. So there's still a couple shows from those like 5 to 6 years that I just have never gone back and watched that I remember telling myself, I need to watch that but I never did when we were in college. So my backlog is also very big at this point, and I certainly know a lot about these shows, but I've never actually sat down and watched a lot of them, so I'm gonna have to do that. So Kenny, what do you got, man? What show are you thankful for?
What up?
Man?
It's me, Kenny.
It's Thanksgiving, man. Happy Thanksgiving, right?
So happy Thanksgiving. So a show that there's obviously some classics that I'm really thankful for. I think that Gurren Lagann is one of my biggest, it's such a fun, exciting shonen mecha anime, and it's enjoyable to watch. But lately I found that I really enjoy sort of quiet, emotional shows, and I like sports shows. And so I would say this is a weird combination. It's not really a sports show, but I really, really love March Comes In Like a Lion. And I'm really thankful for that show because it gives a perspective that you don't see a lot in anime. It's about a guy who is a professional shogi player, as he's starting high school. And he's sort of this child prodigy, but you never feel like you're disconnected from that idea, if that makes sense, because it personalizes him and it makes him personable in a way that you would just understand, because he's just a freshman. He's a little kid trying to be this full-grown adult. And I really love the way that because he's tackling basically mild spoilers for the show, but it's in the beginning. His family is in a car accident. His mom, dad, and sister die in a car accident. And he's adopted by one of his dad's friends who is a professional shogi player. Mm. And he's sort of trained to be this professional shogi player by this dad's friend because because that was sort of how him and this guy connected. And it was in the understanding and in the way that he's become orphaned, in the way that he deals with himself as sort of this lonely being because he has no family, not that he knows, and how he connects with and becomes part of this family that sort of raises him. And he is this family that he starts to live with, these three young women that he starts to be a part of their lives really heavily. It's just so interesting to see them connect, especially as someone who oftentimes I don't feel like I can express myself properly. And I think that Ray has a really hard time of expressing who he is inside to other people. And I think that in the way that he grew up, in the way that he was put down by his adoptive family, and the way that he sort of was driven intentionally by his adoptive father, in the way that his adopted brother and sister don't think about him as their brother and sister, even though he sees them as brother and sister. And the way that this 15-year-old kid who is a professional shogi prodigy comes to terms with and starts accepting other people as fully loved ones and as someone who's not alone. And then because of that, in the beginning of the show, he sort of is at this blockage where he's not improving at shogi at the same pace that he was. Mm. And he slowly develops into this sort of strong, intelligent person who, because of these emotional connections that he creates, he's capable of going farther in what he really enjoys and what he does. And so I really love March Comes In Like a Lion. I'm really thankful for that show.
Is it over?
There are 2 seasons out. The manga's still running.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Is the manga over?
It's not fully completed. But I don't know. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the way that they connect love. I love in season 2, there's a small arc where a bully is at one of the sisters' schools, and it really hurts her. Like mentally, she is having trouble with this because people are ignoring this bully who's bullying this other girl, and she doesn't know how to deal with that, how to understand that. And that arc where she comes to terms with the idea that people aren't going to stand up for this other girl, and she's going to have to step in and do that. And it tortures her at home. And then Ray also is tortured by the idea that somebody that he loves is having this poor emotional reaction with another human, and he's totally disconnected from it. And he doesn't know how to help her and to be a positive influence on her, to help her feel better about things that he can't directly interact with. He can't step in and stop that bully in her school because he doesn't go to school there and he's not a part of that scenario. And being able to support someone emotionally outside of their sort of circles is important. And I think that him coming to terms with that and her dealing with that at school is just a really cool and interesting arc. And obviously the show is still about shogi, which is a really fun, interesting game. And so wild. It's something that I really enjoy too. I really like board games in general, and so I just really like it. I really like March Comes In Like a Lion. It's one of my favorite favorite anime of all time.
Kenny just gave y'all like a he just gave y'all listeners like he's both thankful for it, but that was also his full review and recommendation, just so you know.
Well, not my full
it's on my
review.
list. I added it. It's on my list.
It would be a lot more spoilery if
maybe
we
one
did a
day
full
we will do a
review.
full review on this show because
It's-
David and I have both never seen it, and I lied. I've seen about 4 or 5 episodes, but I never, for some reason, it didn't like land with me. Like I kept kind of like zoning in and out.
Slower and
It
it's
is
more
slow.
quiet.
So I need to get back into it and really pace myself with it, I think, so that I can really like ingest it. I think I was just trying to like marathon it, and I like started falling asleep. So I have to just kind of like pace myself.
Yeah.
But very cool,
It's
Kenny.
very interesting.
And
It is
what?
made by that made Honey and Clover.
That's pretty interesting.
For
Yeah,
those of you
It's
who are-
really quiet.
I'm
too.
sure
it's
they'll
one
do
of those
another
shows
season.
where
It's
it's
pretty popular, right?
Yeah.
I think it's fairly popular.
They'll
They got
probably
2
do.
seasons.
They'll probably do another season as more manga
hope
comes
so.
out. I'm sure they will. So
There's
that
some,
is pretty cool.
There's some good stuff to get to. I read the manga, obviously. Such a fucking.
Well, damn, Kenny.
Obviously.
I mean, obviously, since David and I have both never seen the show, like we can't say too much about it. But you gave us the rundown there. But it definitely sounds like
You convinced me.
I've certainly in my age, and I mean, no matter how old I get, and you two boys are probably the same. A good shonen is a good shonen. So like you can't. I feel like I'm gonna be 50 and I'm still gonna be watching like good shonen, but I've definitely grown like a deeper appreciation for some of the other types of anime that are out there. Because when you're growing up, like all you want to watch is shonen. Like, you know, you stay up with every Shonen Jump show. But then as you, I mean, maybe not as you, maybe some people develop a keen taste for the quality at a young age. I don't know. But for most people, I think they sort of grow into some of the other areas because you're like, oh, I've watched every shonen. What else can I watch? What other shows can I watch? I think for me, I've always kind of preferred, so like Kenny likes the quiet show, you know, especially sports. Kenny, you're really into sports, which is kind of a shonen.
I love sports shows.
It's kind of a shonen offset, but it's kind of its own thing at this point. There are sports shows that I wouldn't consider to be shonen anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, there's some that are certainly shoujo. There's some that are certainly seinen. There's some sports animes that are certainly, like, Real is not a shonen anymore. You know, like, it is an adult drama that happens to use basketball as its platform. I can't think of... there's definitely one that is, like, a shoujo, but I'm not thinking of it. I can't think of it.
There's one that I like called Mix. It's a baseball anime.
And it's a shoujo, or...
No, it's more of a school lifestyle. Baseball is still the main.
It's like a... What's the word?
Slice of life?
Slice of life.
Yeah, it's almost like a slice of life. But I really enjoy it, and it's obviously still about baseball. Just like March Comes In Like a Lion is very much about shogi.
Yeah.
Like, that is one of the main prevailing factors of the show.
But it's an adult drama, honestly.
Exactly. Yeah. It's also, in the same way, Run with the Wind is about running, right? It's about distance running, but it's also sort of it has slice of life tendencies, and it has things about, emotional connections, but I wouldn't say it's a shonen. But it has some shonen aspects, obviously.
Right.
With sports come shonen aspects, I think.
Yeah.
I guess another example would be like Yuri on Ice. I don't think that I've seen that, but I would consider that to be a shonen.
Yeah, Yuri on Ice is absolutely a sports anime.
Yeah, and it's definitely a shoujo, just to be upfront. Yeah. Maybe even a josei, which is like adult shoujo. No, maybe a little bit of boys love. Yeah, totally. You're on the head there. Yeah.
Or if y'all have ever seen Welcome to the Ballroom.
Oh, that's
that one has
actually didn't Ballroom actually run into shonen manga?
That one is very shonen.
Okay, yeah.
But, it has a lot of different aspects that doesn't quite make it fully like, it's not Haikyuu. You're not going to Koshin.
It's not Kuroko's basketball where everyone's got blue glowy auras and superpowers.
And entering the zone and
He's in the zone.
He's in the zone.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great. What I was going to say, though, is I think the older I've gotten, the more I've started to... And I've always watched certain seinen anime, but I definitely have grown a deeper... Like, when a new seinen comes out, I'm, like, more interested in it. Like, No Guns Life, I've been meaning to watch. It's sort of on the border between shoujo and seinen. Dodo, something like that. Sort of on the line between shonen and seinen. I definitely have felt more drawn to that, but also, like, I really like a good gag anime. Like, I think Japanese humor is fucking hilarious, and I think as a kid, like, some of the humor just went over my head. I did love Bobobo as a kid. Bobobo is like one of my favorite shows ever as a kid. But like Gintama never really clicked with me when I was younger, so I never really got into it as much as I wanted to. But now I really want to go watch Gintama, right? Or like the anime version they did of Saint Young Min, so fucking brilliant. That's something I watched as an adult.
Like I think Saiki Kuso no Sainan is really funny.
Yeah, like we've got this area of anime that doesn't really get enough attention in America because they just don't seem to perform well here. If they're not more action oriented, but I certainly think gag manga and anime is like more something I'm watching, and then also just more like art house style animes are really interesting to me as well, where things are just like Devilman Crybaby I consider sort of an art house readaptation of a popular property. Obviously one of my favorite animes, Tatami Galaxy, is very like just art. The art is central to the plot. And I think that that's like a big part of it. Like you can't really enjoy it without the art and animation. Those styles of shows have certainly given me some pause to think like, oh, there's a lot more anime out there like that are short form, and that are very focused on quality as opposed to quantity, like some shonen is. Shonen, it's like, how can we get hundreds of episodes out as fast as possible? But
how many Super Saiyans can we go?
Yes.
Like,
so I think that that's the thing that I've been looking more into as I've gotten older. I still am not as sold. I mean, even with our podcast, David, you probably too, we've watched some slice of life, some boys love, some shoujo, some shonen. And I think that I'm still not, it sucks, but like I still can't seem to find the right shoujo series or the right like sort of that brand, like that genre to really grip me. Like I don't know, Yuri on Ice I really did love, but other than that, like I can't think of one that has like really gripped me. And I want to go back and rewatch Sailor Moon and Fruits Basket, which are shows that I liked as a kid, and see if those still grip me, because they both have had new versions, Sailor Moon Crystal and the new Fruits Basket. So I think those are two shows I want to visit soon to see like, oh, is there something there for an adult male to enjoy, or is it always just going to be a genre that I miss out on? I don't know, David. Maybe you want to also.
I mean, I think so, like as far as shoujos go, like I think I would say that Iwakakuru Sports Climbing Girls is a shoujo / sports. Well, no, it's a sports anime. It's all about rock climbing. So Adachi and Shimamura, I haven't really been keeping up with it, but I think the first, I think I've seen the first 3 episodes, and I'm interested in what's there, but if it's just like the same type of like I don't know, like if the energy is like the same as what those first few episodes are, then I won't get into that. So I'm the type of person I'll watch anything. Any genre, any whatever, I'll give it a chance. And so I would like to see what would be my favorite shoujo. I haven't found one yet either, but I'm up for seeing what's out there. I've never seen Fruits Baskets. I know what Sailor Moon is, but I've never watched all of it. So those would probably be 2 good,
those are entry ones for sure. That's why I
always have a better connection with shoujos in particular. Whenever I really like the main characters, like I really liked the boy and the girl, and sometimes it's because I have connections with them. Like if the main, like I've been reading this manga called "This Girl Is Just Not Cute." It's a shoujo about sort of a ditzy boy, and his girlfriend is like really athletic and kind of scary at times, and so it's cute in that it's kind of swapped the formula, right? The girl is the strong sort of person, and that's something that I'm attracted to as a person. Like that's something that I find attractive, is a really strong, forthright type of girl like that. And so I think that I really enjoy that one because of that sort of that dichotomy, that relationship, or that flip of it, that different style. And so I think that in shoujos, whenever you're looking for one, you need to find a way that you connect with those characters. And I think that shoujos are so wide range that there's definitely one out there where you'll be able to connect with either the male or the female character.
Actually, you know what's a very good shoujo, Kenny?
What?
Vampire Night.
Oh my god! This is the Vampire Night podcast.
Why are we talking about like fighting
Thanks for coming out.
JoJo's that we want to watch? We've had one all along.
Thanks for coming out, guys. This is our Thanksgiving episode of the Vampire Night podcast.
For real though, Kenny, you're actually onto something there. I think that we are going to start wrapping this up. We've been going for almost 2 hours, which we normally do. So this has really been a fun episode, just chatting about news, but also some of our greatest anime, just things that have meant so much to us. And I think that at the end of the day, if you're listening to this, you probably have had some sort of deep connection with anime. And I would love for you to leave a comment on our YouTube page. It probably won't happen. We only have a couple people who listen every week anyway. But if you're listening to this, please leave a comment down below with what anime you're thankful for. What impact has it had on you? Where has it brought you in your life? What sort of things has it done for you? Something I always say is when I was in middle school and I caught up on One Piece, I never thought the day would come where my wife and I would watch One Piece every week. And that's what we do now. And that's so weird because I started the show when I was in middle school and I was a fucking weird dweeb. I was, you know what I mean? Like, just like becoming One Piece has been with me longer than friendships that I've had. You know what I mean? Like, it's longer than like all sorts of, like One Piece and me have been dating longer than me and my wife. You know what I mean? Like, One Piece and I have been together a lot. And I think that that's another one that, like, no matter what, even though we talked more about Bleach today, these shows stick with us.
Shit ton about Bleach.
These shows stick with us, right? They live with us and they leave impacts on us. And it's not just anime that does that, which we talked a little bit about today too. But everything that we enjoy, it sticks with us, and for a reason. So tell me down below in the comments what anime has stuck with you. What are you thankful for? What do you love about anime? If you're listening to this on Spotify, jump over to the YouTube channel and just drop a comment on this episode because that would mean a lot to us just to kind of share in our appreciation of the genre. Well, the medium. It's not really a genre. There's multiple genres inside of anime. The medium of anime. And, as we've done this show, it's just, we are coming up on 3 months of doing this show consistently. And it's been a blast for us because we've gotten to relive some of our greatest moments, but also watch all sorts of new stuff. And we hope to bring you guys even more and more of these sorts of episodes where it's just us having fun and other stuff. So, Kenny, do you want to unravel something? I stopped you last week. So this week, the show
we're going to talk about an oldie, one that I know that we watched subtitled, Claymore.
Ooh,
now,
David loves Claymore. David loves Claymore.
I fucking love Claymore.
Let me give you the overview, okay? Claymore is about this girl named Claire, who is like a demon slayer. She goes around to villages, and she's employed by this weird company that lets these women go out and slay some demons. But then, like, she picks up this little boy, I guess, and then we get like a flashback arc almost instantaneously about how they're like demon slayer rankings, and Claire's ranked absolutely worst, and she's actually only a quarter demon because the demon slayers in this universe are half demon. They get a portion of a demon put into their bodies, and then become these sort of half demon slayers. Now Claire actually had the previous number one's body part placed inside of her to become a fourth demon. Now, here's the issue, okay? The reason why there aren't any boys that are demon slayer is because if a demon slayer comes to an orgasm, it's described, they become full-blown demons, they go full demon and start destroying shit. And so every man that ever has existed as a demon slayer couldn't handle it, couldn't hold themselves back, and went full demon. So then they put Claire in a big egg for some reason. No fucking clue why. She goes to this big egg. She fuses with this girl named Priscilla who killed the previous number one. After we meet all these big, like, previous high-ranking demons, there's Easley of the North, and there's, like, an East girl that they kill. And then, like, all of them get killed really easily. Okay, here's what it turns out. All right, near the end of the manga, one of the people from this organization tell us, actually, we're on a secret continent where a war is being waged on the primary continent. And this is all just a big experiment continent because the war that they're waging on the other continent has dragons. and they got to win the war against the dragons. So they're on this experiment island to fuse some girls with some demons to try and fight these dragons on the mainland. And it makes no fucking sense. And there are main characters that are important to the manga that literally are not around for, like the little boy that Claire picks up, Rocky, disappears for like literally 150 chapters. And Claire, the main character of this manga, is not in the manga for an immense amount of time. It makes no sense. She is gone for so long. We get flashback arcs. We get new characters we're introduced to that slowly are killed off. There's so much bullshit that and then somehow you're like, where's Claire? Where's Rocky? Where are our main characters? Where are the people that we hung out with? And it takes so long for them to return. And Claymore just sort of spun out of control. Okay.
Rocky comes back. He's buff as fuck. And everyone was like, Rocky? And he's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, Rocky comes back. He gets trained by Easley, the northern guy. And
Easley's cool as fuck.
Yeah, but then he just like he dies.
He turns into a pony and then he gets like one hit KO.
Yeah, the Demon Slayer Corps engineer these demon energy eaters, and they don't die unless you like destroy them completely. And so like nobody can actually fight them except for Claire, obviously. And so each of the big demons that rule the north, east, and west get killed by these weird demon eaters that are genetically engineered to just continue to eat you or some shit like that. And then like, Claire turns into an egg and Rocky disappears for 100 chapters. And you're like, where are the characters that I care about?
Dr. Stone.
I want them to animate all of it so bad, but that'll never happen.
I wish
it would be wild.
It was just not popular enough for them to like go back and do more, but
it was like mid its entire run.
Yeah. It got that original anime though.
It does have a one 26 episode anime, which is very good, by the way. If you've never seen it, people listening, go watch Claymore. It's actually a really good anime.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good, but the ending is like
it doesn't. Yeah, it just like
they force end it.
Yeah, because
the beginning of Claymore is good.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's like you're like, oh, these demon slaying girls, and Claire has this vendetta.
Fights are awesome.
Yeah, Claire has this vendetta against Priscilla, who was the number 2 that killed her master.
Bro,
and then
like awesome, honestly.
Yeah, and there's like a similar relationship between Claire and Rocky as there was between Claire and I don't know the number 1's name. She also picks her up after her family gets killed by these demon people. But then Claire goes into an egg, easily dies. Rocky disappears for 100 chapters.
Didn't the manga actually it actually lasted until like moderately recently, right? Because it was monthly.
Yeah. It was a monthly.
That's what I thought. I was like, I think it didn't end until.
It ended a few years ago.
Okay, it ended in my heart whenever they did the big explanation about how there are dragons on the main continent that we need to fight a war. I was like,
yeah, it ran for 12 years.
Okay, so it ended in 2014, so it's really not that recently, but it was recently enough that it was in my mind. But yeah, the anime ran in the year 07. So in 2007, the whole series, the anime ran. Obviously, not enough of the content was out, so they had to make up their own ending. So if you go watch the anime, it is fun, but yeah. Is the
Teresa, that was her name.
Has the manga author gone on to do anything else? Let's see. And the manga author has not done anything since. They did a single one-shot. Oh, no, they have. Ariadne in the Blue Sky. And it's still currently running. Ah, man.
What?
He doesn't work for Shonen Jump anymore.
Was Claymore
Shogakukan?
Yeah, Claymore started as a It started as a monthly Shonen Jump.
It was like a kind of shonen?
No, it is. It's under Shueisha, so it just isn't a weekly Shonen Jump. It's a monthly Shonen Jump series. And during the middle of its run, monthly Shonen Jump disappeared for a while, so it actually moved over to weekly Shonen Jump for a little bit, and then they re-debuted monthly Shonen Jump as Jump Squared, and it ran in that until the end of its run. But it was all under Shueisha, which is the same company that owns Weekly Shonen Jump, so it's kind of in the same field. but won't usually be included in any like weekly Shonen Jump team ups or anything like that. But it's sad to hear that the author, after working for Shueisha, has now jumped over to a smaller company with his newest series. Kenny, have you read this?
I have.
Have you read all of it or just some of it?
A portion of it. I may be caught up. I may not.
I've read all of it. It's pretty good.
No, not Claymore. Of his
Ariadne.
his new one. Ariadne.
I've read all of it.
Wait, have you really?
No.
I was like, I know you've read Claymore, David. I was like, I didn't think you read Ariadne. I kind of want to read it.
But have you guys heard of Urusei Yatsura?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Old
What's
school.
that?
Yeah, it's 80s.
Yeah, what about it?
It's I've seen it in oh fuck, what's it called? Genre of music that's like popular online.
Oh yeah, it's a very aesthetic.
Vaporwave.
Yeah, Lum is
Vaporwave.
The lead character is kind of a vaporwave idol at this point. Yeah, I don't know why. I think there was even an anime of it. Yeah, there was. It ran for 195 episodes.
Yeah. It's like a gag manga, I think.
Yeah, and it ran in Shonen Sunday also, which is another old Shonen. Okay, well, great, Kenny. Good job wrapping up Claymore there.
Claymore's fucking weird, bro.
Everyone listening, we are so thankful for you guys for being here. Thank you for checking us out. I know we're still small. We're still trying to grow. We're trying to do stuff that's going to be fun and entertaining for everyone. So I hope you guys are having a good time. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video if you're watching us over here on YouTube. If you are listening to us on one of our listening platforms, which we are all available on many listening platforms now. If you are listening to us on one of those platforms, go over to YouTube. Give us a little boost. That really helps us out just to help spread the show. We want to get the show more guests, more stuff. I keep saying this every episode. We're just going to keep growing. That's all we want to do. We're going to keep doing this because we love to do it. And that's why we're doing this podcast. We started it because we love to do it. And we hope someone is getting some enjoyment and some fun out of this, because these conversations are really just a lot of fun. I mean, you just get to hear all this great stuff. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of that. But other than that, boys, we are saying peace on our 15th episode of the Uncensored Anime Podcast. We will see you guys next time. Peace.